Welcome to our channel and many thanks to our returning viewers. Make sure to like, subscribe and turn on the post notification button to be notified when we post again. Enjoy this story. I wonder how things could have turned out differently. She was my best friend and I was hers. We were inseparable, two halves of a whole, bound by shared dreams and whispered secrets. Serah and I met in the first grade, two shy girls in the back of the classroom, and from that moment on, we were each other's anchor in a tumultuous world. We grew up together in a small town where everyone knew everyone else's business. Our childhood was filled with adventures in the woods behind our houses, building forts and pretending to be explorers. In high school, we navigated the choppy waters of adolescence side by side, always there to catch each other when we stumbled. Our bond was tested many times, but it always held firm. Until one day, an unexpected tragedy shattered everything we had built. It was a cold, rainy evening in late November. Serah and I were driving back from a weekend getaway in the mountains. We had spent the days hiking and laughing, the nights talking about our future, our dreams, and our fears. The roads were slick, and visibility was poor. I was driving, and Serah was in the passenger seat, fiddling with the radio to find a station that wasn't static. The deer came out of nowhere. I swerved to avoid it, but the car skidded on the wet pavement and veered off the road. Everything happened in a blur of screeching tires and shattered glass. The car hit a tree, and the world went dark. When I woke up in the hospital, my first thought was of Serah. I struggled to sit up, my body protesting with every movement. A nurse came in, her expression grave. "You're lucky to be alive," she said. But luck was a relative term. Serah hadn't been as fortunate. The days following the accident were a haze of pain and disbelief. I couldn't accept that she was gone. How could someone so vibrant, so full of life, be snuffed out in an instant? Guilt gnawed at me, a constant reminder that I had been the one behind the wheel. I replayed the moments leading up to the crash over and over in my mind, searching for a way it could have been different. I withdrew from everyone, unable to face the sympathy in their eyes or the pity in their voices. I couldn't stand the way people looked at me, as if I was broken, a reminder of the friend they had lost. I stopped going to school, isolating myself in my room, surrounded by memories of Serah. Her laughter echoed in my ears, her smile haunted my dreams. Months passed in a blur of grief and self-loathing. It wasn't until my parents sat me down, their faces lined with worry, that I realized I couldn't go on like this. "Serah wouldn't want you to live like this," my mom said softly. "She loved you, and she wouldn't blame you for what happened." But I blamed myself. I always would. Yet, I knew that I couldn't let her memory be defined by that night. She had been so much more than that moment. She had been my best friend, my confidant, my partner in crime. I owed it to her to live a life that honored her memory. Slowly, painfully, I began to rebuild. I went back to school, took up the hobbies we had shared, and tried to find joy in the things we had loved. It wasn't easy, and the pain never fully went away. But I learned to carry it with me, a reminder of what had been and what could have been. Years later, on a rainy November evening, I found myself at the edge of the woods where we had spent so many happy days. I stood there, letting the rain soak through my clothes, and whispered a promise to the wind. "I'll never forget you, Serah. Thank you for being my best friend." And in that moment, for the first time since the accident, I felt a sense of peace. She was gone, but the bond we had shared remained, unbroken by time or tragedy. And in my heart, she would always be there, my best friend forever. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and be sure to click on the next story.